Hello, everyone. Good evening. I know we started this session late, but yeah, sorry about that. Um, so yeah, today we are going to be talking about how to build a card. I'm hoping everybody can hear me, but yeah, we're going to be talking about how to build a card, a set of stacked card, basically that allows you to um do whatever that allows you to come up with a certain stack of cards. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to share my screen. Um, okay, I'm so sorry for the delay. Just give me some seconds. I'm trying to figure this thing out. Um, okay, yes, I think I have gotten it now. Mm, okay, yeah, I think we're good to go now. Yeah, so yeah, let me go ahead and like get started. So yeah, we're going to be in a set of stacked cards that looks like the one you have on the DFS Student Edition Lagos, DFS Lagos Student Edition website that you can see on the mobile view. So if you go into the mobile view, you see this stack of cards that when you swipe, it like disappears and like it fades out and goes to the bottom of the stack. So yeah, we're going to be building like a simple version of this. Um, all right, then let's get into it. So I will just be I'll create a new folder here, call cards, and I'll open this in VS Code. Then obviously you need your index.html file. Mm, okay, so my laptop is hanging a bit. Okay, yeah, we're good. Index.html, and let me have the Chrome window side by side with it so that we can see like the updates in real time. So here, just use your exclamation mark and you'll be able to fill in all this boilerplate. We're going to call it stacked cards. Um, I want to confirm if StreamYard is still working. Okay, yeah, it seems like we're still live. Yeah, so we have stacked cards, and if you go to the body, um, let's just have a main that would contain like the cards itself. We can have a div with a class of cards, and inside of this div, we would have each of the individual cards that we want to display. So, given how we are, like how we want to currently do this, we can just we can have like three cards. We don't need to have as many as they have on the website here. We can just have like three cards, and that should do it. So I'll just copy this three times, and then we can give them class names of the colors I want them to have. So I'll just use red, green, blue. Um, then we can also have a button here. I'll tell you like the function of the button now. Sorry, in a while, but I'll just try to remove top for the button now. So if I say that, if I go live, okay, let me just copy this link. I want to open it in the other tab. So yeah, let's have that here. Okay, so yeah, we get remove top. Oh, I forgot to write the words inside of them. So this is red, this is green, and lastly we have blue. I missed one of these. Oh, what have I done? I think we're good now. Yeah, yeah, we're good. So let's create styles.css. Styles.css. Let me split the screen actually so that we can see both of them side by side. Then to add this, you have link the relation into the style sheet, and then your href would link to styles.css, and this should do this. And then we're also going to need a script at some point, so we might as well just add it now. You have script.js, and we would add that at the end of the body. So you have script source. The source is going to be script.js, and close the script tag. And yeah, so now we have the bare bones. So let's go ahead and start filling in styles. So I like to clear all the default padding and margin that the browser adds, just so I know that like I control all the styles that are going to the elements. And so I remove padding and margin, and I also set my box size into border box, just so if I set a width, I know that that element is going to have that particular width and not have to start thinking about padding and margin. Um, yeah, so if I save this, everything goes there. Then I can make my body a minimum height of 100 vapor height and the max height, mean width rather, as 100 vapor width. From here, I can, so to center the remove top button, the red, green, and blue, I can make this a display effects, justify content center, align item center, and yeah, so you have this in center. And let's style that button just so it looks a bit nice. Say a background color of let's go with aquamarine, I guess. Um, give a border radius so it has curved edges. Let me also add this here so I can calculate the rem values in my head instead of having to think about it in terms of 16. I can just set my font size here to 10 pixels, and now I know when I set the border radius of one rem, the one rem is actually 10 pixels. So yeah, if I save this, we have a weird looking button. Add some padding, say one rem as well. I need to remove the border, none. And yeah, we have a decent looking button. Maybe we should increase the font size just so it looks a bit nicer. Yeah, I think that works. Um, Now to the main. So inside of the cards, uh, to be honest, the cards div is just like a wrapper for all the cards. So I don't really think that needs any styling. So if you style the card itself, so for all the cards, now we have to think what do we want to achieve for each card. So it's supposed to look like a box, like a card basically. So you have a height. The height should be longer than the width. So let's say height of 450 pixels and the width of say 250. I don't know. Let's see how that looks. And we also have to add the different background colors. Background color red. Ooh, I'll just copy this, change this to green, and change this to blue. And now we have all the cards. Good and fine. Let's give the cards rounded borders as well. So border radius 1 rem. We can make that more, say 1.5 rem. Yeah, that looks good. Then we also want to center the text. Display flex, justify content, center, around item center. And then we have the text in the middle, but the text is really, really tiny. Kind of can't see anything. So you can change the color to white. You change the color to white. You can increase the font size, say set it to like 2 rem. And now we have decent looking cards. I just realized this button is not centered. To handle that, we can just use the main and have like main here. Then we would say text align center. So text align center also centers your buttons in case you didn't know. So you have the button at the center now, and we probably want to have some spacing between the button and the card. So you can have like a margin button here. Give that about 2 rem, and yeah, now it's really starting to come together. Um, but obviously we don't want. Yeah, I think the cards are looking a bit thin. Maybe we should increase their width a bit. Let's get this to 300. Yeah, this is better. Yeah, so the cards are supposed to be stacked on top of each other. So ideally, you have red on top, green on the next layer, and blue on the next layer. That means you have to play around with Z indices, Z index property basically. So here, because they have to be position absolute to ensure they all start at the same point, top zero, left zero. And then we need to make the parent have position relative. So this is where we now need the cards class. So this is position relative. And if we do this now, for some reason, our buttons or our cards rather seem to have moved all the way down here. Now, what has happened is because we set the cards to have position of absolute, the card container and the cards container have no height or width because the elements inside of them have been positioned absolutely, and the body that's trying to center what it has, which is the main only contains the remove top, so it's only going to take that into account when it's trying to center the element in the middle of the screen. So all we have to do is make main realize that even though it does not know that like it has a card of a certain height and width, we just need to tell it explicitly that main you have a card that has a certain height and width. So if we just copy the height and width here, basically, if you bring this here, and now we have them centered. So yeah. But now blue is on top. I said we should have red on top, green next, then blue at the bottom. So to do that, you play your Z indices. Now, how do we know which card is supposed to come before each other? So you should be able to use the nth child selector, but given how like this particular even how this particular component is supposed to work, I am not 100% sure that will be able to pull it off because you have to remove some cards and add them back. and I just feel like it might mess with the animation. So I am setting my classes by myself. So you can have position 0 here, position 1, and finally position 2. Um, yeah. And now at the end, you just come here and say for position 0, you want it to have a z index of 0. Oh, yeah, since position 0 is supposed to come at the top, it has to have like the highest z index. So you can give it a z index of, start at any number. You can start at the length. So let's just give it a 3. Um, Position 1 would give that a z index of 2, and position 2 will get a z index of 3. Oh, sorry, of 1. Now, if you do that, you see red is on top and green will be next, blue will be at the bottom, but currently you can't see that. So let's rotate them on the axis a bit so that we'll be able to see like all the cards. Because if you have a stack of cards and you can't see what's under, it's kind of no point to that. So transform, rotate. For position 0, which is the first, we don't want to rotate it at all because it is at the top. So either you leave out this transform statement entirely or you just rotate it 0 degrees because you actually don't need it rotated. Then for the position 1, transform, rotate, let's say 10 degrees just so it's very visible. And for the last, transform, rotate 20 degrees. And now we have our stack of cards skewed at a certain angle. It looks like the remove top button is battling with them. So let's increase this to say 5 rem, maybe 6. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Let me just confirm if call is still on. Okay, yeah, we're on. Um, so what next? Now we want to get this top element to fade out. What just happened? Sorry. We need to get this top element to, when we swipe, we want it to go out. For now, we'll handle the swiping later, but for now, let's just think about is the remove top button that's going to handle the swiping, that's going to handle the removing top card function basically. But what do we want to do to get the top card out? So what I plan to do is add a class, and the class is going to cause the top card to rotate by 90 degrees, and doing that same rotation is it's also going to be fading. So I'm going to transition it to the rotation of 90 degrees and also change its opacity to 0. So I'm going to have a closed class, and what that closed class would do is to have a transform that rotates to minus 90 degrees and opacity to 0. So since you are going to want this to animate, but we don't want to create animations, we can just add transitions here. And so that it doesn't take too long, let's just use transition all uh, easing out 0.5 seconds. And yeah, you can see that like, transition is already taking effect. But now we want to add like the close class to the top card. And this is where JavaScript comes to help us. Now, what do we need? We need to get this button so we can add the event listener on it, and we need to get let's get the first card so that we can add the close so we can add the close class on it. So here you can say const btn is equals to document.query selector. And since there's only one button on the entire page, you can just use button. So Yeah, then here we're going to say button dot add event listener on click. We want it to, so what do we want it to do? We want it to get the first card. For us to get the first card has a class of position zero, and it's always going to have a class of position zero. So we can just say const card, or let's call it first card. Const first card is equals to document dot query selector, and we want to check for position zero. Now, now we have access to the first card. So what we need to do is just say first card dot class list dot add. I want to add the class of close. Now we want to make sure that when we add the class of close, like when it is done removing itself from the top, we want to remove the first card from the DOM entirely. Now we can just do that with the first card dot remove function. We can do this, but the problem with this is actually let me show you first. So if I do this and I click the remove top button, so you can see like it just faded out in a very weird way. Let me inspect so that like you can see it. If I refresh and I click remove top, it just goes out. You don't get to see the animation. Why? Because when close class gets added, the first card is removed before the animation gets a chance to play. So we have to make sure the animation has completed before we remove it. How do we do that? We do that by using a set timeout. So in the set timeout, we're going to call the first card dot remove in the callback function, but we're going to make it wait for 500 milliseconds, which is the exact amount of time that the removing animation is going to take. So if we do this now, we have it. So everything seems to work fine. Good. Now, what is the next thing? So as the first card has been removed, we need to make sure that all the remaining cards go like they fold back into the position that like. So if you look at this, when I remove one, the other one's like animates up. So we need to get that working here as well. Now, how do we do that? We need to get every single card and animate them up. But as you're animating them up, I don't know if you guys can see, but the red, uh, the current top is this red card, and if I swipe out, it appears at the bottom. Current at the top is green. If I swipe out, it appears at the bottom. Current is blue. If I swipe out, it appears at the bottom. So as we are removing it from the top, we need to make sure we are appending another one to the bottom as well. But let's first do so to do that, we need to have like a duplicate card at the end. This duplicate card is going to be the exact same thing as the first card. We just use it to enable us replace what we currently have at the top, at the bottom. Like so when we remove red, we want to make red animate down at the bottom. So yeah, if we'll change the position of this to position 3, and in the styles here we can now say the last card, because we know that the last card is always going to be the duplicate. So we can say the last card, sorry, last child has an opacity of 0. And yeah, so the red is currently on top. If I remove the top, there's still going to be a red card there. Now, if I come into the script, I need to push everything up basically and make that red card that's supposed to be at the bottom to show. But let's get this done first. So to get all the cards, I need to say const cards is equals to document dot query selector all the elements that have card. Now we need to remember that like when this function is called, the first card has not yet been removed. So the first card is still there. So you want to make sure that like we are ignoring the first card. So we'll say for let I equals to 1 instead of index 0. I is less than card dot length, then I plus plus. Then you say you get the current card that you're dealing with, cards I. So now we need to remove its current card position. So like green needs to change from position 1 to position 0. Blue needs to change from position 2 to position 1. And red needs to change from position 3 to position 2. Now we can get their positions easily by saying let former position is equal to position hyphen. Now the former position is going to correspond with the index because here position 0 for green rather it's going to have a position of 1, blue has a position of 2. So former position is going to be the position plus the index. So this will give us the position. And what we want to do is we want to remove the position from there. So say card or class list or remove from our position. Now we have a new position that we're going to add. New position is position hyphen. Then we're going to add I minus 1 because now we want to shift it back by 1. So card or class list dot add new position. And it's going to do this for all of them. So if I save and I remove top, everything animates except the last one. Now if I try to inspect, so we can see that the red is there, but it's just that it has an opacity of 0. Why? Because it's the last element, and we decided that the last element is going to have the opacity of 0. So what we can do here is the moment we add like the green to the top, we add another card. We add another card at the bottom that shows like that replaces red as the last position. So after doing all this, like after pushing all the cards forward, we need to get green's card, duplicate it, and then add it to the bottom. So we'll do this by saying but this is going to be hard. So new first card is equals to cards cards 1. Let's not forget that at this point this first card is still going to be there because this function would not yet have been called. So the new first card is still going to be card going, which is going to be position 1 in the cards array. So you get a new first card. I will duplicate it. New first card clone. And let me just call it duplicate card because that's actually what it is. I will do that by calling new first card the clone node, and we want to make sure the inner HTML values match as well. So duplicate card dot inner HTML is equal to a new first card dot inner HTML. But when we've cloned the card, we also want to remember that when we are cloning it, the position 1 that we have here is going to still be on that. So we need to change it from a position 1 to a position 3 because that's going to be the last. And we know that since we're getting cards 1 here, it's definitely going to have position 1 currently. So we need to remove position 1 and put position 3. So we do that by saying duplicate card dot class list dot remove position 1 Duplicate card dot class list dot add position 3 rather. Oh wait, by the time we get here, green would no longer have position 1, but green would have position 0, because at that time we would have already set this to be position 0 now. So we can say remove position 0 here instead of position 1, position 0. Yeah, let's save this and see how it goes. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot to add the card inside. So you just say cards div the append child. Yeah, it's cards now. Oh no. Okay. I need to get the cards div. So just say document dot query selector dot cards dot append child, and it's supposed to append duplicate card. If we remove top now, yeah, we have it. We have it working. This is our blue. Now we have blue, red, green. Now we have red, green, blue, red, blue, red, green. And yeah. But now we are still like relying on the button. But like I hope you guys can see now that like this is working properly. So basically just try and focus on getting the animations and everything to work first before you start thinking of the swiping functionality. So now that we have this working, we have to think of the swiping functionality now. How do you do that? So there's an event called touch start that tells you when like a thumb or a touch has been made, when a touch has been started. You have touch start, you have touch move, you have touch end, and we're going to be using those three. And I will tell you why and how. Um, so to detect the touch, I will just use the main div, the main container rather. So let me go ahead and like get it from the DOM documents, the query selector, get me main, and I'm going to say main dot add event listener. The event is touch starts, and yeah, so you're going to get an event. This event contains, I think it's called target touched. Let's just log it to see what we have there. Where is my console? So yeah, you have a touch event. Under touch event, you have change touches. Yes, that's what I was going for. So you have change touches, and what we need from this. Okay, let me use back. So we have change touches, and what we need from change touches is client X, because we are trying to determine if a swipe has been made on the x-axis. So we need to get this client X value and store it. And then when the touch has been completed, you get the value at the end of client X. Compare those two, and if the difference is up to a certain threshold that you want, if the difference is up to a certain threshold that you want, then you are going to allow the top card to be removed. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So if you start X is equal to the event dot change touches position 0 dot client X. So if you want to do anything with the y-axis, you can as well go ahead and do that. But for us, we don't need that. So let me store the start X variable outside so that we'll have access to it inside of the touch end callback function as well. So yeah, main dot add event listener touch end. and you're going to have a callback function. We don't need console log anymore because obviously now we're pros, we don't need it. So end x is equal to, oh yeah, we're supposed to have an e here as well. End x is equals to e dot chain touches 0 dot client x. And now the difference is what's going to determine um if I'm going to make the top card remove or not. So the difference is going to be end x minus start x. But if you think about it, the Cartesian coordinates, you have the if you're swiping, you're probably need to swipe. You're supposed to swipe from right to left. Like you want them to swipe from right to left, and the right is going to have a greater value than the left in terms of x, like on a Cartesian plane. So to do that, we just have to get the absolute value. So wrap this in math.abs, and then we can set a threshold value. The threshold, let's say you want it to be 50. You decide what threshold you want ultimately. So here we can just say if the difference, obviously difference here means difference in the end, start and the end. If the difference is greater than or equal to the threshold, we want to call the remove top function. But currently we don't have a remove top function, but we know that the remove top function is this. So just come here, make this its own function, paste this here, pass the remove top function as a callback here, save, and now we should have this working. So yeah, there you have it. You have your start cards animation working good and fine. You can still use the button if you want, but why use the button when you can swipe? Now there's one more minor thing. Um, if you are using it on your phone, you would realize that, like, if you do this currently the way it is, if you do this on your phone, you realize that the y-axis can interfere with like what you are doing when you want to swipe. Like when you're trying to swipe, it end up moving, scrolling on the screen. So to avoid it moving, just want to say main dot add event listener touch move. You say E and you have here E dot prevent default. And yeah, so currently here you wouldn't really see the difference, but when you do it on your phone, like you see what I'm talking about. So yeah, this is all there is to it. So all you just need to do is if you want to add, just add as many more elements as you like and edit the code to make sure it works like that. And yeah, there you have it. It was really nice doing this with you guys. I hope you people enjoyed it. Thank you very much and see you in the next technical session. Bye.